Oh, yeah, the title was clickbait. We're actually going to review Bob and Margaret. Bob and Margaret is a British-Canadian adult animated TV series. No, I'm just playing. I've been hyping up this video for a minute. I've been working on this video since November 4th, and it's been a crazy ride. The reason I'm reviewing this show is pretty personal, so heads up, this is going to be a bit emotional. But anyway, Good Luck Charlie is an American sitcom that aired on Disney Channel, premiering in 2010, having 4 seasons, and ending in 2013. Now the funny thing is, I remember watching this show when I was younger, and just like everything else, I forgot about it. But luckily, we're reviewing it today. I found out some interesting facts about the show on Wikipedia. Good Luck Charlie was created by Phil Baker and Drew, whatever his last name is. They've been writing together since 1993, on shows like Suddenly Susan to Sunny with the Champs. They had the idea to make a sitcom that will appeal to families rather than kids, inspired by shows like Full House and George Lopez with such a young audience. Drew said this in an interview: "We wanted to do a show about a family, to bring back family sitcoms, and make it about a real family, not wizards, nobody's a pop star, and nobody has a TV show." He pretty much dissed other Disney Channel shows. This show is 10 years old. Does it hold up years later? Let's find out. Oh yeah, I'm reviewing the movie as well. Before we get started, I want to introduce a special guest. Here he is. It's Manuel D. And I totally didn't forget to ask you for a character still, so I went on one of your recent videos to see which one fit the scene instead of just texting you for a character still. So I had to cut one out myself, and I probably did a terrible job. I should probably do this now before I forget. The theme song slaps. Oh yeah, let's not get a copyright strike. But anyway, let's review Good Luck Charlie. Okay, so I'm going to cover all the characters in season 1, and once I get into episodes, I'll talk about more of the characters. The show is called Good Luck Charlie, and the show is mainly about Teddy, which makes sense because one of the original titles for the show was Love Teddy. That sounds better, but Good Luck Charlie is more catchy. The show is mainly about the Duncans having a baby named Charlie. Teddy will make a video diary for her so she can watch in the future as she gets older. But that's not the whole show. The Duncans will usually get into some random adventures as the show goes on. Teddy is a good character, but she has problems. I like how she loves Charlie so much that she will make a video diary for her, give her some genuinely good messages in her video. She's a very... Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I like Teddy, but her downsides are like really bad. Teddy in some cases can be really whiny to the point it's a bit annoying. In the movie she does something very unlikable, but one step at a time. Now thinking about it, I can't really go into her problems now. I have to wait till we get to the episodes, so I'll save that for later. PJ is the oldest and honestly my favorite. He's not the smartest, which I'm not sure why this is a TV trend, but it happened. He's really nice and surprisingly a good cook, and most of my laughs came from him. All around, a pretty wholesome dude. Gabe is the middle child, for just a little bit, and he's the bad kid. But that doesn't mean he's a bad character. He still has his funny moments, and he has his moments to where he legit cares for his family. Charlie, well, she's a baby. She's not given any character development. She's adorable though. Amy is the mom, and she's surprisingly filled with so much energy, and I love it. And yeah, I know she's a Trump supporter. I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna try and cancel this woman. But that doesn't stop her from giving a good performance. She's very caring to everyone in the house, and a good mother and wife. She's not perfect though. She's mad competitive, which low-key lead to one of my least favorite episodes. She can also be a bit off in some episodes. Just to jump a gun a bit, season 3 episode 8 is a perfect example. I understand parents have a hard time letting their kids go, but it never gets this bad, I promise you. I mean, we'll go into that a bit later. But it led to a bunch of episodes due to Amy. Now Bob is my favorite character. Now that's weird because you probably expected PJ to be one of them, or someone else. This is one of my favorite TV dads. He's crazy funny in this show. I love how he literally changes as the series goes on. This man lost a lot of weight, and I'm not just talking about like a little belly fat is gone. My man got muscles. He's also incredibly funny to me. And he's not even that over the top. He shows that he really cares for his kids and his wife. Even to the point where he almost fought a man because of it. I'm just saying, Bob is a goat, and low-key nobody talks about him. It's honestly a shame, but don't worry, he's still one of my favorite TV dads. Now, recurring characters. I know I didn't mention Toby yet, we'll get into them later. Ivy is Teddy's best friend, and bro, she's crazy funny. Literally everything she said had me crying, man. And her friendship is good, but that's it. It seems like every episode I watch with them in it, they just fight. It's kind of gross because the show sets it up as they're like really close friends and they have each other's back, but it never really felt like that. There's an episode I'm going to cover later because I really disliked it, and it shows why I feel this way about their friendship. But overall, Ivy is a good character. Now Emmett is PJ's best friend. And bro, why is this man so funny? He has this one line in the episode and it makes me laugh way too much.
What? After all our hard work? I even asked my mom to come.
Oh, sorry to disappoint her.
Oh no, it's okay, she said no.
Emmett and PJ's friendship is so much better. When they argue, they legit get tired of being mad at each other and apologize. That's honestly funny to me. Emmett also has parents that straight up don't like him, I guess. When he gets his first apartment, his family told him not to call, text, or write. Dog, that's messed up. Emmett is a kid with a big heart and has a crush on Teddy, and I honestly keep forgetting about that. Next door to the Duncans is Mrs. Dabney, a lady that Gabe has an obsession with harassing her for some reason. She's mad hilarious, man. She keeps me laughing with the sly remarks she makes. She also had this arc with her husband and how she couldn't wait to divorce him. And she finds an opportunity to get back at Gabe for his wrongdoings. Like in season 3, it was like they were having a prank war. And it was funny because I was surprised Mrs. Dabney didn't get arrested for making Gabe lose some of his hair. Pretty sure if you did this in real life, you would be facing something. It's a comedy, kids. She's a great character with surprisingly a lot of personality. Skylar, man, her first appearance left such a sour taste in my mouth, but as the show went on, she grew a liking to PJ, and they started dating for a bit. What's funny is that she's also not that smart, but this is like a whole nother level of dumb. Like, I understand these are jokes, but come on, no one's that stupid. Well, except for me. But it didn't stop me from liking her as a character. She has an episode that I really like, and we'll get into that later. But yeah, she's good. Spencer, I straight up don't like this man. I have to get into the episodes for you guys to truly understand, but just know he is gross. Alright, that's all the characters for season 1. Alright, let my man Manuel spit some facts.
Hello, my name is Manuel D, and today I'm going to be talking about why I think Go Like Charlie is a pretty good show. Also, I'm counting in the time limit, so I'm not going to waste your time. So I remember watching the show back when I was 7 and really enjoying it. So coming back to the show, I was kind of cautiously optimistic. And I say cautiously because I do remember watching some shows back in the day that didn't hold up. But I have to inform that this is quite an enjoyable TV show. It's not your typical cheesy little kid show directed on Disney. As said before, the kids are just ordinary kids with ordinary problems. They aren't wizards or pop stars or actors on a TV sketch show. What I like most about this sitcom is that it's actually a bit more realistic for teens to relate to, instead of Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, or whatever other shows, which has teenage problems but directed at a more preteens audience with huge imaginations. I know comedy is subjective, but I really think that the show has its funny moments sometimes, and sometimes it's really corny and cheesy. I also really like the acting, and the movie, the Christmas movie at least, is actually really cool and actually a really fun watch. Although that's where I say that the best moments of Go Like Charlie end there, because after that there's season 3, and season 3 really isn't that good in my opinion, and after that it just gets worse and worse. Anyway, Good Luck Charlie's an overall okay show. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I definitely wouldn't say it's the worst. I'd just definitely say that around season 3, the show really started to drag on. I would probably give it a 6 out of 10, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Anyway, thanks for inviting me here, Tim.
Dude, get out of my house, bro. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, shall we start off with the first episode? So, episode 1 isn't anything major. Amy goes to work after her pregnancy, and Teddy wants to have a study date with Spencer. Bob wants to prove that he can take care of Charlie on his own, but he ends up throwing Charlie due to him tripping on the stairs, and broke his butt. Teddy tries to kiss Spencer and it doesn't work, and Gabe has a jealousy issue. Amy starts to worry, but Bob reassures her that everything will be okay. And Teddy goes to Gabe so he can feel better. Pretty standard first episode. There's a lot of funny moments, and this is a great way to introduce the characters. Gabe's jealousy plot was a bit childish to me, but the way Teddy speaks to Gabe is perfect. Overall, a good episode. Episode 3. PJ and Gabe believe their neighbor Mrs. Dabney murdered her husband, who never actually appeared in the episode, or in the show now thinking about it. And Ivy starts to teach Amy how to text, and Teddy gets jealous. That makes no sense, but whatever. Teddy is so jealous, in fact, that she gets Ivy's mom and tries to spend time with her. This is legit the funniest part of the episode. Ivy's mom looks so uninterested and is so crazy funny. Ivy gets the idea to let both of their moms hang out with each other, and they teach each other how to text. This episode was okay. The Mrs. Dabney plotline was decent, but quickly got boring as the episode continues. Especially since it's a Disney Channel show. You know how it's gonna end. Teddy getting mad at Ivy wasn't probably the best way to introduce her. They're supposed to be best friends, and they argue for literally no reason. And it only gets worse. Definitely season 1's lowest point. Episode 8 is Charlie's first birthday, and the family reminisces on the day she was born. Amy goes to labor, Teddy and Ivy entertain kids with a play. Bob and PJ go fishing, and Gabe is left at home alone. At the ending, everyone comes together for a picture, and technically the doctor came up with the phrase "Good luck, Charlie." It was a nice episode, showing how crazy of an adventure it was just to see Charlie. And I love that they invited the bikers to be the godchild, which they low-key invited themselves to be godparents. And man, Amy and Mrs. Dabney were the best part of this episode. Almost all my laughs came from them. An all-around good episode. Episode 9. It's not an important episode, but it's very heartfelt. The Duncans are tired of hearing Mrs. Dabney's dog bark, and she makes a deal: if the Duncans cut down the branch, she will sit the dog inside. But Teddy and PJ don't want the treehouse to come down, so they take a strike, and Bob tries to do everything to get them down, but nothing works. Teddy and PJ argue most of the time, but later realize they need to work together in order for the strike to work. Near the end of the episode, the family comes together to stand up against Bob and Mrs. Dabney. Mrs. Dabney threatens to get another dog, but Bob joins the family with standing up against Mrs. Dabney. The treehouse falls, and they build a new one at the end. Teddy and PJ argue, but they learn to work together. Overused plot, but genuinely nice. And I love the fact that they build a new treehouse at the end, even though they're never going to use it again. I don't know, man. The treehouse falling down scene looks so weird. It was like the screen had a seizure, but it definitely was a nice episode. Okay, episode 20 is not that important. So Teddy feels like Charlie is making Spencer and Teddy's relationship not that good, so she tries to fix it herself. Let's go back a bit. Did Spencer just whine over getting bitten on the finger by a 1-year-old? But yeah, this is not important at all. Oh yeah, Spencer cheated on Teddy. Wait, what?
No, Spencer's my boyfriend. No, Spencer's my boyfriend.
Look at this. See how, nah. Ooh, hold on. Let me go back. Look at my man's face. Look at Spencer's face, son. He wasn't ready. I gotta look at that one more time. Look at it.
Oh man, that was something else. Next episode. Teddy tries to get over the breakup with Spencer, and Ivy gets the idea to let Teddy become friends with Skylar. Which is a dumb idea, but it works.
I really don't see how this is gonna help. Me either.
What the fuck she crying for, nigga?
Teddy and Skylar make a song, and Teddy doesn't want to release it because Spencer made an appearance. Oh yeah, PJ and Gabe fight over a room. Not as important as the rest of the episode. The message at the end of the episode was really nice. Just because someone hurts you doesn't mean you need to hurt them back. It was really well taught. And why was there a rap song in this episode? Ooh, yeah, don't do that again. I wrote on my notes that Skylar is going to take a while to get used to. I say that because she's not the smartest, and it seems like that's her only character trait. But as the show went on, I think she was a decent character. The show is good, but the part where Spencer comes back and begs to be back with Teddy, it was like, ugh, police, help. Episode 24 is a part 1, part 2 type deal. The Duncans go on vacation to a skiing resort. 3 plot lines take place. Bob and Amy realize they weren't actually married, and they argue because Bob doesn't feel like getting married. Which, real quick, how do you not want to get married after finding out you weren't married? Teddy's looking for the love of her life because the sidekick told her, and Gabe runs up the room summer spill. PJ and Gabe's plotline do not carry over to season 2. Just like now. A bit much with Teddy's plot. She's mad weird in this episode. She automatically thinks that the first boy she sees is the one. Which, if life was like that, I think I'll be in jail. Wait, hold up. Bob and Amy's plot was mad childish, and quickly could have been resolved. Like seriously, Bob is in the wrong. You can't convince me otherwise. And trust me, the pettiness gets worse. This episode is fine though, I still enjoyed it. Episode 25, aka part 2. So the last episode ended with Teddy seeing Spencer at the skiing resort, and Teddy and Spencer have their time on a ski lift. Bob and Amy argue some more, even to the point to where they had to get different rooms, and PJ and Gabe enter a dancing competition. The episode ends with Bob and Amy getting married, Teddy and Spencer deciding to be friends now, and PJ and Gabe show how pointless they were in this episode. Part 2 is better than part 1, definitely. And its ending is all the more satisfying. And it should have been the actual ending to season 1. There's another episode after this, but we're not going to talk about it because it's not important. Shall we go to season 2? Episode 1 is pointless, but mad funny. The family is trying to celebrate Charlie's 2nd birthday. Teddy, Gabe, and PJ want to get tickets to the Gurgles and end up getting arrested. And Bob buys a horse for Charlie, but realizes that the horse was stolen property. And PJ harasses a Gurgle member and goes to jail. And now the Duncan family are in jail. But at the end of Gurgle, let the family free after PJ helped write a song. I love how they are all willing to give Charlie a good birthday, even to the point they're going to jail. Like seriously, it's a crazy way to celebrate your second birthday. That is definitely a perfect episode to start off season 2. Now, episode 7 is probably my favorite. Teddy and Skylar pair up with each other for a battle of the bands. PJ and Emmett almost hold one to compete, and eventually PJ meets Skylar, and they eventually get together. Oh yeah, Spencer is also joining. The B-plot is Amy wanting to impress the art teacher, but she fails. But she sees Charlie's painting, and Amy takes credit for it. The plot is pointless, so just ignore it. The C-plot is Gabe and Bob chill over some rich dude's house, and Gabe is accused of cheating. The father wants Gabe to apologize for something he didn't do, but Bob ain't letting that happen. Skylar and PJ being in a relationship complicates things, because they don't want to compete against each other, so they join all together and they win the battle of the bands. Fun little episode where the comedy is at its best. Nice to see PJ and Skylar in a relationship, especially since they're not the smartest. The show's gonna do something later on with PJ and Skylar's relationship in this season, so prepare for that. But anyways, it's a fun episode. Episode 8. I don't like this episode. Amy wants the family to join a singing competition, and Ivy is dating a guy named Raymond, who's friends with Spencer. See where I'm going with this? Teddy thinks Ivy went to a party she wasn't invited to, and for some reason calls her out in front of the class. But in reality, she was just hanging with her boyfriend Raymond, and Spencer was there. Ivy and Spencer didn't do anything though. And oh my god man, this episode made me mad. Teddy comes off as the aggressor, and gets mad at Ivy for being somewhere with Raymond, and Spencer was so happened to be there. In this episode, Ivy's the one to apologize, and Teddy doesn't. Even though she called her out in front of class, and she consistently called Ivy a liar, even though she was telling the truth, this is just me speaking, but I personally don't think Ivy should have apologized. Feel free to have your own opinion on this episode, but this isn't a good episode to me. Episode 11, another favorite episode of mine. Gabe is tasked with not being bad for an entire week, and he'll be rewarded with a birthday celebration. Teddy and Ivy are at a poetry club, so they can watch Teddy's boyfriend speak. And bro, this scene is so funny. But of course they argue and Ivy leaves. Are you sure Teddy and Ivy are friends? They sure do argue a lot. For some of the stupidest reasons too. The next day, they go to apologize to each other but end up in different houses due to the bad blizzard. Gabe succeeds on this week of being good, but his party is cancelled due to the blizzard and they have to celebrate inside. Teddy realizes how much he hates it at Ivy's house and makes it back home. The episode is very heartfelt and extremely funny episode. Gabe is a bad kid, but it doesn't stop him from being any less heartfelt. Episode 13 is a crossover episode. Let's check it up. Don't ask me to review that show, I do not feel like watching it, and this episode did not do anything for me. It's an extremely forced crossover. Amy and Teddy go to Chicago to visit their great aunt, but they accidentally make their way to the Shake It Up studio. And then, the whole aunt plotline is just straight up forgotten altogether. Just because it's a crossover, the B-plot is better for once, but I didn't really finish this episode, but feel free to watch it if you want. Episode 15, Charlie accidentally puts Teddy's laptop in the dishwasher, and Teddy thinks all her video diaries are gone. She's of course upset and gets the idea to recreate the whole thing. And the B-plot is just PJ going to chicken college. Teddy and Amy stay up way too late to record everything just for PJ at the end to admit that he took her laptop by accident. A fun little episode where you actually do feel bad for Teddy for once, and really hope she can recreate all of those things. And the B-plot is just simply funny. Bob's reaction when he finds out what college PJ went to just kills me. But this was a pleasant watch. Episode 17, PJ's girlfriend, Skylar, moves to New York, and PJ doesn't want to say goodbye. So he moves to New York and tries to live with her. Teddy gets a job, and Amy eavesdrops on Gabe and brings the wrong girl home. I just wanted to get those plots out the way. PJ gets a job. By that I mean he plays guitar by a subway station. Nothing goes right, and Bob tells PJ that he has to let go. So at the end of the episode, he finally says his goodbyes. This scene is so nice, man. It's well acted and the emotions on PJ's face sells it. Ending is the best thing I've seen from the show so far. And Bob's advice, personally, I really like this one. Episode 18 is the part 1, part 2. For Amy and Bob's wedding anniversary, the family goes on a vacation to Hawaii. While on vacation, Amy steps into forbidden ground and brings a curse to the family. Amy has a allergic reaction. Bob gets stuck at a 6-hour seminar. PJ tries to get over his fear of literally everything, and Gabe helps. And Teddy tries to impress some guy, which we know she's not going to get, so she tries to surf. Like always, nothing big happens in the first part, but it's a nice part 1. Episodes filled with jokes, and it's funny to see the family get cursed. Amy's curse being the funniest and the grossest, but a good part 1. Episode 19 continues where we left off. Teddy loses Charlie for a few seconds, and Amy's allergic reaction is getting worse. I've never seen an allergic reaction like that. But yeah, Teddy continues her plot of surfing, and later she knocks herself unconscious. PJ and Gabe continue their pointless plot line, and Bob is dealing with money issues. Near the end of the episode, it turns out there was no curse to begin with, just a joke. And Gabe tricks the whole family into doing a dance. as a means to get rid of the curse. They think it works, but it obviously doesn't. But anyways, the non-curse is gone, and they enjoy their vacation. A funny continuation of the last episode, and it's crazy to see how worse this curse has gotten, with a very satisfying ending. Episode 27, so basically this is a Good Luck Charlie special where everyone has a secret. PJ stands for Potty John, and Teddy is back with Spencer for some reason. Gabe does something nice for a change, and that's about it. In terms of special, this isn't all that great, especially with everyone's secret being very mediocre. This episode isn't a bad episode, but it's definitely a boring one. The jokes in this episode are pretty basic too, which brings up a problem I have with Good Luck Charlie's jokes. They're not the so bad that they're good, they're the oh my god get to the point type jokes. And Teddy and Spencer getting back together was such a horrible idea. Cheating is something I expect a lot of people not to forgive, but Teddy was willing to forgive Spencer for his crappy behavior, which I honestly feel like he's not sorry. But yeah, this is definitely a type episode. Episode 29, the Duncans finally have their first Thanksgiving together, and Amy wants to do the cooking, even though she knows she's not that good at cooking. PJ sneaks around and cooks for Amy, messes up the turkey on purpose, just so he can make one himself. PJ cooks another turkey, and Amy messes it up, and it causes the turkey to explode, putting Teddy in the hospital, and the family spends Thanksgiving in the hospital again. Everything was good until the ending of the episode. I don't like what they did with the end, especially since Amy wanted a good Thanksgiving. She's mainly the reason this whole thing happened, but at least they're together. And that's it for season 2. We're not going to season 3 just yet, because if you don't watch the movie, like my dumb butt did, season 3 is going to spoil the movie for you. But now that I said that, let's watch the movie. So the Duncan family goes on a winter vacation to Amy's parents' house, and Charlie has the urge to break stuff. Teddy later tells Amy that she wants to go on a trip with Ivy, but Amy doesn't want her to go. So Teddy acts like she always does and consistently whines till they make it to the airport. Bob then says if you're responsible enough, you'll buy your own ticket. While on the plane, it turns out the plane was full and one person has to give her the seat. In return, they'll get a free plane ticket to anywhere. Teddy sees this as an opportunity to prove she's responsible even though she isn't, and leaves the flight, with Amy right behind her. They'll leave the flight just to find out that the next flight to Palm Springs is in 3 days. Real responsible, y'all. So Teddy's and Amy's plot could be summed up as getting to Palm Springs. PJ, Bob, and Gabe make it to Palm Springs and meet up with Amy's parents. And of course, Amy's mom doesn't like Bob. Never explain why, but she does. As Teddy and Amy continue to travel, their journey continues to get worse. They get kicked off a bus, their car broke down literally, and Amy's pregnant again. I worded that so wrong. But once they make it to Las Vegas, Amy and Teddy start to argue, and Amy is rightfully upset, and they part ways for a few minutes, and come back to do some very corny singing to earn some money. And this is the part of the movie where the plot just seems to stop. I mean, like completely comes to a halt. A random girl steals Teddy and Amy's bags, and Bob, Gabe, and PJ get kidnapped by this game that Gabe was playing, and the three of them have to shoot their way out. I promise you, if I took those plots out, nothing would change. But anyway, everyone meets up at a diner, and Bob and Amy reveal that they're having another baby. At the end of the film, a similar situation happens, and Teddy again volunteers to leave, and this time Bob goes with her. Okay, let me say this. I think the movie's enjoyable, but its downsides are really bad. First off, Teddy is not likable at all in this film. She's the reason that Amy is missing out on everything, and Teddy tries to act responsible, but nothing ever actually goes to plan. When she does learn something, it's completely ignored at the end of the film. Yeah, Teddy is one of the lowest points of this film. Another thing is that the third act is pretty dragged out. Like, seriously, the movie sits at a standstill. The whole paint gun plot could have been left out. It was funny, but pointless. And the scene where Amy and Teddy encounter that one lady that stole their stuff, just for her to reveal that she ran away from home, that part was well acted, I'm not gonna lie, but it honestly could have been left out. But I do think PJ, Bob, and Gabe's plot was really enjoyable. And when the jokes hit, they really worked. Except when they were bad. And since the movie doesn't have a laugh track, it's mad silent. Overall, I still enjoy this movie. Mad flawed, but real enjoyable. Definitely check it out. Okay, now we go to season 3. Episode 1. After the movie, Amy tells the family that she's pregnant again. She thinks the family should move, and of course the family is kinda upset about it. Teddy and Spencer try to get a new job as George Washington, whatever, and Teddy doesn't get his job. Once she finds out that Spencer is working with this girl that really likes him, Teddy does her usual thing and overreacts. You think Spencer would turn down the job like that, but I guess not. But they both get fired at the end, so whatever. And once Amy goes back inside to get something, she has a change of heart, and the Duncans decide not to move. Story-wise, this is clickbait. Setting up the family leaving just for them not to actually leave is not a great ending. And also the Teddy and Spencer work plotline was pretty pointless and really wasn't that funny. But I like this episode though. It wasn't perfect, it's just there. Episode 6. So Amy and Bob think that Gabe isn't getting enough attention. So Amy and Bob decide to spend more time with him, doing some weird yet funny things, like karaoke, and I don't know why this scene cracks me up so much.
Bob, it's not a duet.
No, it never is, honey.
Look at him.
Teddy has to study for a test and PJ tries to graduate high school, but can't due to him not earning his PE credit. And all he has to do is learn how to square dance, which Bob helps him out at the end, and PJ gets his diploma. Overall a good episode where everyone gets a good ending. But real quick, Bob and Amy said they'll forget about Gabe. Just in case anybody was sleepy, here you are, I just gave you a wake-up call. Episode 8. The part 1 wasn't important at all. But this is the episode where Amy goes into labor, but they have to take Teddy's car due to Bob driving into the house. Teddy's car has run out of gas, and now they have to take an ice cream truck. And they have the baby. It's a boy, and the boy's name is Toby. And Toby and Charlie now share the same birthday. An extremely heartfelt episode with a really good ending. Definitely one of my favorites. Episode 12. PJ moves in with Emmett, and Amy tries to sabotage everything, so PJ and Emmett can argue, so PJ can come back home. And it works. PJ leaves due to Amy, but Amy feels bad and tells PJ the truth, and they hug it out. Teddy takes Spencer's mom out to lunch, and Gabe tries to help Bob get over his fear walking down the stairs. This is a really nice way to let PJ go, and it's nice to see Amy upset that she has to let PJ go and live his own life. Amy is maliciously evil in this episode. I never met a parent who wanted to do this all for her son, but it's still a fun episode. Alright, episode 22 and 23. A part 1, part 2 type deal. You already know the drill. So part 1 was that Spencer got accepted to a college far away, and when Teddy and Spencer try to visit each other, there's always something wrong. PJ drops out of community college, Bob accidentally lets termites eat the house, and Gabe tries to find his own room. Part 2. Teddy and Spencer come to the conclusion that they can't be together if he's far away, so they have to say their goodbyes. The Duncans have to leave due to a termite situation, and PJ joins culinary school. Both parts are really good. All the plots were well paced, and nothing felt awfully rushed. Just real quick, Part 2's final scene with Teddy and Spencer is so well acted. It's some of the best Disney Channel acting I've ever seen. And PJ's words of encouragement is so good. Overall, a really good episode. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Season 4. The final season of Good Luck Charlie. Episode 1. After the last season, the Duncans stay in the hotel, and they start discussing their dream house, but Charlie doesn't want a new house, so the family try to convince her. When Teddy falls asleep, she dreams about the Muppets. Okay, and they convince her not to have the dream house, which Bob agrees when he sees the bill, so they rebuild the old place. Side plot, Gabe is tired of eating sandwiches, so he fakes being an accountant to get free food, and PJ and Emma try to get evicted. The Muppets have no purpose in this episode, but they made the episode fun. When they were actually there, they were fun, and the songs were kind of catchy. The side plot for Gabe and PJ are really good and fun to watch, and definitely made me laugh. Not a bad way to start season 4. Episode 8. Charlie shares her 4th birthday with Toby, and she's not happy about it, so Amy tries to give her the best birthday party at school. Side plots are Teddy helping Bew, or however how you say his last name, I forgot, and Gabe being considered the toughest kid at school by accident. Charlie gives her best performance in this episode. She's really funny, and I love how Amy's willing to go above and beyond for Charlie, just to give her a good birthday. And Teddy and Gabe's plot are pretty good, and it's kind of funny. I just wish we went more into Gabe's plotline. It was a bit short, but not a problem. Still a fun episode. Episode 17. Teddy scores an interview to a college in New York, and PJ tags along with her, so she can go. Teddy gets stuck on the subway, where she meets Jesse and Zuri, and PJ runs into Skylar again. And at first it was just like a hi-bye type deal, and the second visit is where PJ finds out that Skylar's coming back to Denver. Back at Denver, Bob and Amy try to find out what Charlie wants for Christmas, but Gabe already knows and buys it for Charlie. Teddy misses her orientation, but Jesse offers her a place to stay. The Jesse crossover was pointless, but it wasn't bad, just unneeded. But I do love PJ and Skylar being back together. It was a nice way to see her again. And Gabe surprised me on this episode for being the best part of it, proving that he actually does care for his family. Probably my favorite Christmas special Episode 18. So Teddy is sat on the waiting list for her application to Yale, and her friend Victor got accepted before her. So Teddy tries to sabotage his chances by pulling a senior prank, which makes Victor end up getting arrested for like a few minutes. He comes back and Teddy takes full responsibility for her actions. And at the end, Teddy gets accepted to Yale. Bob tells jokes at Charlie's school, and Gabe and Amy ride their scooters. What Teddy did was pretty uncalled for, but she did own up for her actions, and didn't let anything happen to Victor, which was really nice. And it's cool to see her get accepted to a college. And Gabe and Amy's plot was short, but still pretty fun. And it's crazy to see Gabe dodge all these questions by his friends. Nice episode. Episode 19. Ivy is going off to college, and her parents are pretty upset. Teddy tries to cheer them up, but they take it the wrong way, and they take it as they're moving to Arizona. PJ is evicted from his apartment and stays from the treehouse, but Bob and Amy later find out, and they were nice enough to let him come back. Teddy buys Ivy's parents a dog so they can get over Ivy, and that's it. Teddy and Ivy say their goodbyes in such a sweet way. Man, the scene where Teddy and Ivy say goodbye to each other, like, I know Bridget Miller was a good actress, but Raven Goodwin did a fantastic job. And of course, my 19-year-old self was sitting on the couch trying his best not to tear up. PJ moving back home was fun, but it would have been nice to see him, like, keep his own apartment and showing that he's actually got everything under control. But it's still a fun episode. Episode 20. Teddy's off to college, and she chugs to make their last video diary. While Bob is out with Charlie, he finds Spencer at a frozen yogurt place. Once Bob tells Teddy she wants to invite Spencer over. New people move by Mrs. Dabney, and they have another 10-year-old. Dade tells him not to bring Mrs. Dabney, but of course he doesn't listen. And PJ works at a fish and gravy truck. A good part 1 episode, and it's good to see everyone return before the final episode. This is a nice little gathering, and Gabe was just great. I like Gabe now that he's 14. He looks like a young Seth MacFarlane. Episode 21, the final episode. Teddy has her farewell party. Spencer and Teddy are back together again. The neighbors move out. Gabe and Mrs. Dabney decide not to be rivals anymore. PJ opens his food truck with his dad, and Teddy leaves for college and makes the last video diary. A great and emotional final episode. Everyone gets a happy ending, and no one's left out. And no one's ending feels forced. It feels earned, and it's great. And that's it, guys. That was the final episode of Good Luck, Charlie. Man, that was a ride. And this is probably like the longest video I've ever made. This show had a crazy following, being considered the #1 Disney Channel show of all time, and gaining over 3 million views on its first episode. Even 10 years later, this show still has a following. I watched the reunion on YouTube, and it's so nice to see them remember the show. And I definitely can say that I'm going to miss rewatching the show. The show had a lot of low points, but it was fun to see this family grow. I swear, comparing season 4 Bob to season 1 was outright crazy, man. I'm definitely happy I rewatched this show, and recommend that you guys watch this little show called Good Luck, Charlie.
Just know that as long as you've got us, you always will have. Come on, guys, say it with me. Good luck, Charlie.
Okay, I guess I have to explain the reason why I wanted to review the show. This is going to be pretty depressing. So, years ago, my friend Asa was doing a charity event. It was at his little elementary school. He got to meet Bridget Miller, and he asked me to review the show. That's it. I just have to clickbait you guys for a bit. Sorry for the long wait, too. I'll never do that again. Oh yeah, and the last episode of Timothy Reviews Survival is...